I'm not a scientist. I'm not an expert in footballs. I'm not an expert in football measurements.
I don't want anyone rubbing them, putting in the air in them, taking the air out. To me, those balls are perfect, and that's what I expect when I show up.
I can't show it on the football. It's so goddamn hard about holding on to it.
Introducing Mike Cash Collins and Scott Stacks Simpson as the Fantasy Millionaires.
All right, take two. DraftKings crashes. Brees Hall out for the season. Joe Burrow goes Joey Bananas on the Falcons. Speaking of, Kyle Pitts season stats: 16 receptions, 178 yards, and 1 TD. Read like a game stat line for those of us who drafted him in the third round thought it would look like. Tom Brady looked like Michael Jordan in a Wizards jersey. And we are now one Monday night game away from halfway through the regular fantasy season. I'm Cash. He's Stacks. Stacks, let's start out with, what do you think of the CMC trade?
I think in the long run, it'll be great for CMC and his longevity as a player. Actually, because I mean, even though 49ers running backs tend to get hurt, I don't think that's. I think CMC will not be overused. I think they'll get him in the right way, and I think it will actually help him to be more consistent and fantasy relevant. I mean, it wasn't fantasy relevant, but I mean, consistently every week. That's going to be his backfield. You know what's going to be his backfield? He's going to get like 60-70% of the touches starting next week. He's going to absorb the playbook, and I love it. I would trade for CMC, but I mean, no one's going to trade him right now. I mean, I wouldn't. I'd be thinking this is going to be good. What do you think?
Well, it was interesting as I have one share this season, and I whenever you have players, that you have had injury histories or whatever, there's a collective holding of your breath that happens in certain times when you see certain plays or whatever. And I was watching that game, and there were just a couple moments when I was like, for no reason, but I was just like, oh, I hope he's not injured. And then I thought about what it must be like to be Shanahan, Kyle Shanahan, who traded away all of his picks. I think he has like no picks till like 2025 or something like that. Like they're like, can you imagine what it must be like to be like, we're playing in $50 leagues, $200 leagues, and we're holding our breath. What is it like to be that dude when CMC touches the ball? I mean, I just can't even imagine.
I think anytime CMC touches the ball and you're heavily invested in him as a franchise or as a coach or a teammate, I mean, same with Saquon. I think it's the same way. Whenever you see somebody who is going to be everybody's job is to stop that guy from moving forward. And they're some of the best players in the game at catching the ball, running out of the back. So you're trying to light them up. They're game changers. So you want to take them down. I'm not saying injure them, but hit them hard. You want to be aggressive with them. You want to give them your best, put it that way. So, but I mean, I'm not, right. This was the thing. The reason I said that I don't think he's going to get hurt, and maybe it's wishful thinking because all NFL players eventually do get hurt, but is so many people in my comments when I tweeted about it. I asked them, like, what do you think, about this trade? There's like, he's going to be injured next week. He's going to be injured. He's going to be like, it was the consensus gripe about him was his injuries, right? People obviously bitter. They drafted him before and just kind of like, chirping about it. So, but I think it's going to be good. Like, I think you've seen games from Jeff Wilson or from, last year, Elijah Mitchell, where, they get 2 touchdowns and they rush for, 100 yards. And maybe this is going to be a little bit different with Christian McCaffrey. Maybe he won't rush for as much, but they'll use him in the passing game. They've got Debo back there. You've got Debo, him, Kittle, Ayuk. That's ridiculous.
So many weapons. Kittle. Yeah. I mean,
I'll call on Kittle, by the way. If you're paying attention, that's our DFS stacks at the end. My man Mike Cash Collins was all over Kittle last week, and I played him, and I beat Bo McBrayer in the clash. So thank you, my guy. up on Bo right now, 4-3. On aggregate, I think we're kind of similar scores. We accumulate. But
do you think this propels them into a playoff team, a strong playoff team though? Like this, it's a big move.
Oh, it's a strong to quite strong move. It's an all-in push for the playoffs next couple years. So I think it makes them dangerous. I think their defense needs to get healthy. That's part of the problem for them, honestly, right now, is their defense is not healthy. So what Atlanta did to them, they just pushed them around, ran all over them. Only passed the ball 13 times and they beat them. That's crazy.
Yeah, Chiefs just smoked them.
Chiefs just smoked them too. Their defense is it's banged up, and it also, when you're on the field that much because your offense is not kind of super productive, it's hard. It's hard for your defense. So, and right now they're not super productive. Like that's why they traded for CMC. Yeah, just in case you're not paying attention. So
yeah, and then man, a rash of injuries. Mike Williams high ankle sprain. That's what they're saying on
so much Mike Williams.
I know Mike Williams high ankle sprain. Breece Hall done for the season. David Njoku. I don't know what the injury is. Was seen in a walking boot after the game. You're
reading my team, by the way. Read Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's on my team too.
I was reading something interesting about that. Apparently, he didn't have a concussion.
Really?
He didn't have a concussion, but under the new protocol, whatever it is, it's like ataxia or whatever. If there's like if they exhibit any type of like odd muscle movements where I guess they lack balance or they move weird, I guess it's called ataxia. I don't know what that is.
Well, I mean, listen, player safety is first and foremost. Like, I'm not going to gripe about losing a game and the players kept safe. I'm okay with it, but still, I don't like that all my players are hurt. You know what I mean? Like, it's not great. And listen, no offense, but Kyle Pitts, we're going to talk about him later. He might just show up in our Elevate, Mitigate, Eviscerate today. I don't want to foreshadow too much, but he is in there. So I'm not elevating him. Let me put it that way. He's either mitigate or eviscerate, and I'll let the audience stick around to find out what I'm gonna do with Kyle Pitts. So
how about Matt Ryan? Did you get the breaking news on that? Hurt shoulder, and they're benching him for the rest of the season anyway.
Benched. Yeah, he's benched. Benched. Adjust your bench. So
yeah.
Matt Ryan,
make room.
Yeah. Tom Brady might be joining him soon. Tom looked terrible. Antonio Brown, man, what a character that guy is. Did you see Antonio Brown's tweet about Tom Brady? Oh my gosh, I might have to change my whole strategy on 3 tweets today just to show you Antonio Brown trolling Tom Brady as he lost. Oh my gosh, it was just so funny.
Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers. I saw a tweet.
Russell Wilson. There's a bunch of them. Just terrible times this last couple weeks. Just not good. Not good.
Darkness is setting in on the twilights of their careers.
They're so old.
The Brady thing was weird. I mean, it really was weird because obviously he's got a beat up offensive line. So I was expecting him to have a bad season. That's what he tweeted. He tweeted that. I saw that on the internet. He did that too. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Antonio Brown, dude.
Underneath of it, he goes, Tampoon Bay, Tom Booty.
Tampon.
Tampon Bay, Tom Booty, you dig?
Tampon Bay.
Tampon Bay, Tom Booty, you dig?
The franchise that brought him a Super Bowl ring is Tampon Bay, and that's Tom Booty. Oh my gosh. I dig.
Yeah, he is hilarious, by the way. As him and Kanye struggled for sanity. We'll talk about Kanye later too. So, man, what a fun show. And also, listen, I mean, I don't want to get too in the weeds here, but I kind of do want to get in the weeds. And I think I even changed it. I was where I wanted to be before. Let me talk about fantasy receipts. We talked about fantasy receipts previously on the show.
Okay. Yes.
You brought them up, and more people catching feelings, man. They got another one. They got our boy Sal. I love Sal. Right? They
love
got
Sal
him
too.
He blocked them. And then here's the tweet, though. I do like this. This is from yesterday. And the stat line for ETN is 14 touches, 114 yards, a touchdown. And then hiding your face. And then Sal's tweet is, sit Travis Etienne. Jacksonville has the third worst run blocking matchup. They face the Giants, who are top 10, blah, 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 blah. Right? And so, they're just like, oh, man. My favorite one is my guy, Real Rhinos. He goes, better not call Saul. But it's Sal. Yeah, but Saul. But he's better not call Sal, right? But he's got better not call Saul.
Right.
So funny in here. So, listen, Fantasy Receipts is going to do what they're going to do, man. I think you got to get on board because they're coming. They're coming for everybody.
They are coming, and I personally think that it's needed in the space, right? And my reason for why it's needed is that people need to wrap their mind around the fact that whoever your favorite fantasy analyst is and who you're going to for their information, for your information, and letting be your guide, be your Sherpa. This person is going to swing and miss. And so I think ultimately Fantasy Receipts can create.
They got 13,000 followers, by the way.
Great. They had 5,000 at our last show. They're already up to 13.
They had 7,000 yesterday.
That's crazy. Yeah, and dude, what they're doing, I think, is it's going to help everybody, because I think a lot of people just they don't understand. Like, I mean, even you and me, who are doing this part-time, I think people, we play in a home league, and I like, I'm 4-3, like, you're gonna be 2-5. Like, people will think, oh, these guys are gonna like know everything and blah blah. Dude, this is football. It is so hard to predict. And I think what Fantasy Receipts is doing is, first of all, exposing people who are, I think you were responding to somebody and was talking about, like, I think when you're a little too brazen with your takes, you need to adjust along those lines. And I think that is what makes a good analyst, is like, not speaking in absolutes, right? This could help analysts, and then I think will ultimately also help fans, because they can pull a receipt from everybody. Okay, how about this? I'm gonna pull a receipt on Fantasy Receipts. Okay. I thought this was awesome. This was from Tom Otten, and it said, is it possible to receipt at Fantasy Receipts? Okay, because they pulled a receipt on James Robinson. They go after this one guy, Kev. Okay, yeah. He's roto surgeon. Okay, yeah. Roto surgeon on September 5th. Right after, I guess, a big game from James Robinson, I think it was the first game, he said, trade away James Robinson everywhere while you have the chance. And then October 6th, because James Robinson's been crushing.
Yes, he has been.
Fantasy Receipts receipts him and says, this you? Right? So now this person is receipting Fantasy Receipts because Kev was right. Kev was right. And this leads into trades to get paid. Because I'll tell you what, Mike Cash Collins, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks ago, maybe longer, I said buy high on James Robinson. Okay, I am now sell low on James Robinson.
You're fantasy receipting yourself after the fantasy
receipting myself along with that Fantasy Receipts.
You're taking yourself and fantasy receipts down. I respect it. Yeah. No,
well,
it's in the spirit of what we do. You
gotta adjust. You gotta adjust. And what are we seeing now? Travis Etienne is the truth, dude. I mean, He's the man. You know, he was
So-
a buy low candidate last week, right?
I told you to buy him. I told you to buy him, people.
I'll tell you
Yes,
what. You know, elevate, mitigate, eviscerate is the hardest thing we do. Our trades to get paid have been popping off, dude. You know, like
I've been on it. Yes, we have. Step ahead.
yeah, we said buy low on Raheem Mostert. Last week we said buy high on Kenneth Walker.
We said buy high.
I mean, yeah. So I mean, I'll tell you what. You know, I mean, barring an injury to Travis Etienne, I think James Robinson is just and some people don't believe in selling low. Okay. I'm not one of those people. I think you can sell low before it gets even worse. Okay. You know, and I'll tell you what, it's hard to pick a sell low. Okay. And so my advice here is find the Travis Etienne owner and see if they want James Robinson. And that's all I have to say about that.
I like that. Let me pull a receipt on myself. Last week I said to sell low on Antonio Gibson. I was wrong. He came out and proved me wrong immediately. They watched the tape. They're like, he's faster than Brian Robinson. Let's give him some more touches. So we didn't doubt ourselves. We doubted the coaches, right? I doubted the coaches, really, is what we did, because we know he's good. We just don't know what the coaches are doing. And here, living in Washington, we really doubt the organization and the coaches in general to do the right thing. But I would say he's now a buy low for me. I've moved him over from sell low to buy low. If you have him, keep him, right? Don't sell him low right now. Maybe you couldn't find a buyer last week. You know, I made a mistake. I'm going to be honest. He'll have bad weeks, but I do think he is the better running back. And I'm just going to say that. So does Bo. So does Mike. We all think this, right? Shout out Bo McBrayer. You know, he tweeted out his latest viral tweet. Thousands of people were on top of this one, loving it and sending it everywhere. He just said Antonio Gibson is better running back than Brian Robinson. Like it's just clear in front of the face. So I should have listened to him and just held, but I made a little bit of an adjustment on the team. My mistake. Fancy receipts. You know, they don't do videos, but when they do, this is for you. So, yeah. Let's talk about what we did get right, or what we're gonna get right. We've got a few here. Let's talk about your buy highs, because we've got two buy highs that are kind of, you know, taking the league over in their own games. Not even the league, but the game. But the league soon for Olave. He is just ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, that guy is just open. He's just always open. I mean, that's all I'm seeing when I'm watching it. It's not like he's making contested catch. Like that guy just creates space.
Yeah, Tyler Lockett.
And you know, Michael Thomas's toe doesn't. I mean, who knows what's going to happen with that? I mean, Michael Thomas is. Yeah, it's not looking good. But meanwhile, it doesn't really matter if he's on the field or not. Chris Olave is getting the ball. And just every time I see him, he's wide open, and there he is. I think it's only going to get better. So buy high now. I mean, it was a 16-point PPR performance, something like that. We've been hitting with our buy highs for sure. I'd say buy high now before he pops off for another big week.
Yeah, I agree. And he might be featured later in DFS Stacks of Cash. There's a lot of symmetry going on, unbeknownst to the hosts, because we don't collab before. We just do our thing. So, all right, let me talk about my buy high. We saw right away last week when Gus Edwards got in. He's the RB1 there, right? Dobbins on the IR. Gus Edwards is the guy to have. Don't even play games. Don't mess around. Don't wait to see, well, maybe next week. No, it's not. As soon as he was healthy, they gave him the majority of the snaps. He crushed it in the red zone. I love everything about my guy, Gus Edwards. Go get him right now. Mike, how do you feel about Gus?
I mean, Gus Edwards, should be featured on the wire as well, because he might be on your waiver wire.
Not if you're in a league with you son of a bitch.
Not if you're in a league with Cash Collins. I've been, all the leagues I play in have IRs. I scooped him up long times ago and just stashed him in the IR. So I've been waiting for this moment, and the timing, the sad timing of J.K. Dobbins' injury really works out for people who've been stashing Gus Edwards.
The stashing's about to cash it.
So. The snap share wasn't good. I mean, it was full-on committee approach, but here's what I liked. He was by far the best running back on the field, and I expect him to be the red zone
Yes.
guy. He
Bigger,
just
he's
looks like,
stronger.
yeah, he's the more powerful back. And he does everything that any of those other backs can do too. So
Yeah.
I think he's perfect for that offense, and for him to step on the field and put up a performance like that, right? Week one, the future is bright.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, speaking of the future being bright, it's a little overcast right now for Amon. For some friends, you have him as a buy low. He's been injured. He's been in and out. There's a buy. He really hasn't been there consistently the last month, right? So the owner might be a little impatient. I have Amon. I would say, as an Amon owner or roster or manager, or whatever you're going to call him, I would say he's a buy medium, because I don't know how low you're going to get Amon for with his upside. You know what I mean? So like, it's
Right.
buy low relative to his value right now, which is only going to increase, I think is what you're saying, but you're not going to get him for nothing. So with that being said, who are you willing to trade me right now for Amon-Ra St. Brown? Let's just talk real shop right now on your team. Who's a guy you'd give me for him?
CeeDee Lamb.
Oh, holy shite.
Yeah, man. I think you gotta give somebody really good.
It's not that low.
It's buy low
Yeah,
on he got a concussion and he was injured.
Right.
And obviously the person who drafted him, thinks that he has a lot of potential. But at the same time, if you're playing with league mates, like maybe they just went off of a draft guide or draft software, and they're not, they look at him and they're like, yeah, he's slight and maybe he's going to be injury prone. I just think the upside is there, where you could give up a really, really, like somebody that they might, you could give up somebody juicy, and then you could be getting somebody who has, potential first round draft pick talent.
I agree with you. I'm going to consider that offer. We will talk. Shout out to Robbie, Rum Boys Robbie, and then we've got Bo McBrayer as well. Two of my favorites, the Thieves, coming in strong. All right, we already talked about my buy low on Antonio Gibson, real low, right? But you can still get him for relatively cheap. I'd be willing to trade away. I'm trying to think about this. If you're doing like a wide receiver for him, somebody who's in like the Brandon Cooks range, over here, he's in my sell low category. Let's talk about that. He is your guy, Brandon Cooks. You draft him everywhere. Would you trade for Antonio Gibson with Cooks, or no? Would you hold on Cooks?
Yeah, I mean, I would potentially here.
You needed a running back, not just like,
right.
Really,
I mean, here's what I liked about Gibson is that you didn't see JD McKissick. So how about the fact that Gibson, this is kind of what we all hope for. Like, I don't even hate the Gibson timeshare anymore, because I honestly think it puts Antonio Gibson in a position to be able to utilize his skill set perfectly. Like, he's the JD McKissick.
Right. He's a better JD McKissick.
He's a better JD McKissick. So like this, honestly, I think, he's a flex going forward, but I think he's a solid start him every week flex, because I think the PPR points are going to be there. So maybe he gets you 10 points, 11 points, but then maybe he gets in the end zone. He's not going to get in the end zone every week. But the upside is there. I mean, he's still a guy that can break off big runs. He almost broke one against the Packers. He was one little, one barely little trip away from breaking like a 50, 60 yarder. So, I would trade Cooks for Gibson.
Yeah, and we got a couple people in the comments who are agreeing, which it's confirmation bias to a degree, but I appreciate their sharpness. I'm glad the Bo's here, because my sell high right now is his boy, and I want to hear what he says about this. Zeke Elliott, 2 touchdown performance, but 3.8 rushing yards. I mean, if they're going to get down to the red zone every single time and run in from the 3, and he's guaranteed 2 touchdowns every week, I'm stupid, all right, and just give it to him. But Tony Pollard, 6.9 yards per carry. It's double It's just better with Pollard until you get to the red zone, and then they use Pollard as that little run flanker. If you just turn around and hand him the ball too, he's going to go in for a touchdown one of these days as well. So I'm waiting for that to happen. But what do you think about this trade? Would you get rid of Zeke now, sell high when you can? Because I got him in a league with Mike. I got him in the fantasy. Is it the Crab Cakes League? I got him. I need to get rid of it. Right? What do you think?
I'll tell you. For me, Bo's with you. I like. Here's the thing that's frustrating. I've relayed this. I've brought up this Pee Wee running back story before, and this was when I played Pee Wee football. I was by far the best running back on the team. I would get them all the way down the field, and then they would take me out, and they would put in the coach's son, and the coach's son would get the touchdown. I don't think I ever got a touchdown. It happened throughout the whole season. He would and his son was like not good. He wasn't even one of the best running. Like there were lots of better guys than it, but he would put his son in, and his son would get the touch. Sometimes he wouldn't get the touchdown. They'd run it like 3 times with him. That is the Zeke Elliott experience right now. Tony Pollard gets them all the way down the field. And it's like, listen, I'll give Zeke this. He has a nose for the end zone. And so
you and I could get in the end zone with those big boys, dude. I mean,
I don't really know how I feel about it. Like I'm kind of I'm neutral to this call. Okay. I like it because I'm with Bo. Tony Pollard is better, but doesn't mean that Zeke's not going to keep doing this every game. Like he could be the goal line package every single game, and you could have these just frustrating games. I mean, we had Tony Pollard last week as Elevate, and it was okay. But I was playing Pollard everywhere in DFS, and could have gone from winning like $5 to winning, $1,000 if they'd have just given goal line carries to Tony Pollard, but whatever.
Right. Me too. You could have been spending today counting your thousands of dollars that you won, making your son happy. By the way, I don't want to jump our show off the shark, but your son's the story that I'm listening to Mike talk to his son last night. We're watching football together. We call each other on Sunday night and Monday nights and watch football together because that's what best friends and brothers do. So we're watching football. I hear some come up and go, "Is that our guy? Did he score? Did we win?" And he's like, "Nah, this is a different game." He's like, "We did okay. We didn't get it." He's like, and his son's like, "Ah, man." He's like, "Okay, go to bed." Blah blah. He tells me the best story about how once his son found out that money was involved with football, it just like changed his game. Like he was just like he was just like, wait, there's money. You can win. Oh shit. Oh, okay. Who's our guy, Dad? Let's get our So I love that. Like a real DFS sharp was just born. So when your son wins a Million Maker when he's like 16 and you gotta say that you won it, I know where it happened. We'll talk about it on the show. 20 years from now, or how many years from now, 13 years from now, or 40. Your son's 5, so 12 years from now when he wins a Million Maker, because dude, his excitement, 3 hours later, it was at 9:30. It wasn't during those in the window. It was just he's just like, what's going on with our money? I love it, man. I just gotta say, Father of the Year type shit. Send this to Matthew Berry. Let him know this is what a real dad does who loves football. He like teaches his son the reality of how money can be won by the guys that you pick playing football. So it's just like the coolest thing ever, man. I'm so jelly. My kids know all this already. Like they don't care. They're like, "Did you pick the winners?" "No." "Okay, bye."
Yeah. It was really cute. It was really cute. He immediately, because he just didn't really figure out that we were like that all of this was about money, like that I'm trying to win money. So once he did wrap his mind around that, he immediately started angling like, "Can we get a big toy if you win?" I was like, yep. I was like, if we, I also cheaped him out. I was like, if I win 1,000, no, I didn't tell him that. I was like, yeah, if I win $10,000, yeah, we can get a big toy. So I was still gonna use the 1,000 just for me, yeah. Right. But if we win 10,000, I'll buy you and Jordan big toys.
Yeah. No, I like that. All right, let me just comment real quick because we're kind of camping out here, but it's okay. It's our show. We can do whatever we want. Also, the wire's not that great. Sell high with Michael Carter. I agree. I have Michael Carter and Scott Fish. I drafted both him and Brees Hall just because the way it fell. You told me to draft Michael Carter. I did. I'm glad I have him. I can't trade in Scott Fish. But, if you do have Michael Carter and you can afford to sell him high, I would say strike, because the Jets offense is just not going to be as dynamic or as fluid. You saw what it was like last year without Brees Hall. Brees Hall is a game changer. He's a first round pick next year. Let's just put it out there right now so everybody can hear it on video. You can fancy receipts this one because it's going to be a good take unless someone gets hurt, which you can't help that. But, what would you expect to get in return for Michael Carter? If you're like about to kind of cash in, would you trade him for a Christian Kirk? Are you looking for something more, something less? Where's the line draw?
I would trade him for a Christian Kirk for sure. And
Amari
like
Cooper-ish,
that's
something like that.
What's that?
Amari Cooper-ish.
Yeah,
in that
totally.
realm.
Yeah, totally. I mean, because here's the thing. Michael Carter is good. I mean, the Jets, it's amazing. They're 5-2. I was watching, I wanted to use this on the show, but it was like, it was like a minute and a half long, and it was, all NFL highlights with like NFL music. So I was worried about copyright stuff, so I didn't use it. But it was, how Ian Hartitz on Twitter, he does the hype videos. Oh, yeah. Like where he's like, he plays the dun 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 dun. Okay, so this one was like he'll show like Nick Chubb, and it'll be like a 2-minute video of like Nick Chubb just doing dun 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 dun. This one was Zach Wilson being Zach Wilson, and it was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. Zach Wilson is garbage. I mean, they were the worst. There were all these plays where he runs around and looks like Randall Cunningham and then just throws it out of bounds, or like starts falling down and throws it back to the line of scrimmage. There was one play where they did a flea flicker and he throws it to Michael Carter. Michael Carter makes a great stop. It looks like a great play. Throws it back to Zach Wilson. It looks like a beautiful play. It's going to be a touchdown. It goes right through Zach Wilson's hands. And then in this one, he grabs it, picks it up right before the guy gets him, tosses this little, girly throw out of bounds. And I just think that team is going to be horrible. Yet they'll somehow, I guess, because their defense, be competitive in games. But without Brees Hall, I think that they're I just don't understand that offense. And I'll tell you what, Michael Carter is, he's valuable. So sell high, because you don't know what next week is going to look like. I mean, he's going to get PPR points, and I think you can get somebody good for him. All right, he's going to be a mid to low range RB2 going forward. So I think you can get somebody good.
You could get a nice tight end too if you're trying to get into the tight end game possibly. But this is a good question that came from Rainbow Six. God, I hope you are a straight slayer on Rainbow Six. By the way, I'm a Battlefield 1, like 6 years ago guy on PC. But whatever. It says, are we trading away CMC? His value and hype is so high. Not exactly sure what we could get, but is it worth? Yeah. I mean, it's always worth exploring. For him, a wide receiver 3 for an RB1 and a wide receiver 2. What do you think, Collins? I'll give you the floor.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If it makes your team better, then I'm with you, man. Like, anything's on the table. Like, I mean, personally, right now, I don't know how I feel about the CMC thing. What I do think is that he is on a team where, I mean, he's got one of the best, running minds in football with Kyle Shanahan. So like, there's a ton of upside there. But we don't know. So like, don't you got to get a really good RB1 and wide receiver 2, like it's got to be somebody that was drafted in the first round.
Somebody that you think has a nice little stretch run schedule wise, matchup wise.
Right.
Don't trade for somebody and they're going to face the toughest defense down the playoff stretch. Make sure you have your ducks in a row.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
No. All right. Let's transition here. I thought that was a good segment, by the way. And I think we did camp out it because it's been our best segment, and almost every single one of our calls has hit. Has come back the next week literally to hit. Maybe the whole season it won't hit, but I mean ETN. We talked about him. And then right away, boom, he hits. We've had this like week after week after week. So I love it. All right, let's talk the wire. And man, Daniel Jones, I called him last week. Bo, if you're still here, I love you, brother. You didn't like it on the DFS takes, but he did show up and show out last week. He is a top 12 quarterback right now. And with all the injuries, he's a top 10 quarterback. So what do people think about that?
9, depending on how you score.
Right. I mean, it's a comeback story. I mean, you like that? Yeah. I mean, I don't.
He had 100 yards rushing. Honestly, the thing is like I don't see it stopping. I mean, I think with his rushing upside, I mean, he almost broke one for like 70 yards in that last game.
Yeah, he was upset at himself. You could see him, cursing himself as he's got that fluidity in field, which is crazy because he's a big target and he's just like sidestepping guys, going as fast as he can go. It's phenomenal, really, because you don't think somebody who looks like Eli Manning can run like Lamar Jackson. So
he's so fast.
Yeah, he's
really
so fast. I want to see Daniel Jones race Lamar Jackson. I want to see it. Like not a scramble.
Lamar would smoke him.
Okay, well,
Lamar would smoke him.
if he doesn't fall down.
Yeah, he might fall down.
He might fall down.
Right, yeah, I know. He can't. Like, what is his 40 time? Like, there's no way it's that good. I mean, he's not like that fast, but he sure does look fast. What do you think his 40 time is? It's not good.
4.55.
No, it's not.
No, what is it?
4.8.
Well, maybe he runs a faster 40 when you actually look at the real life run, not the run. When he's running in the 40. Like, listen,
I think he's just a good, like, I think like Steve Young ran like a 4.8. You know what I mean? Like, I think he's just understands when to do it. And he's willing to, kind of sacrifice his body a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, he's not doing the Mahomes slide, like he'll try and get those extra 5 yards. And sometimes that works into like breaking a tackle and making a big play, like him, like Kyler Murray, Patrick Mahomes, they're gonna slide. You know what I mean? Like that's another, Lamar. What makes Lamar the best is like he doesn't even like he knows when he's about to get tackled, and he might say he just goes out about he just finds a way to like not get hit.
Right. Well, no, he's got the ballet feet. Like that's the thing about Lamar. Like that motherfucker is dancing around people. RG3 watches him with his mouth open. Because RG3 could not. RG3 could push off and take off and go. Man, Lamar is out there just like flossing and fleeting and sheeting, man. I love Lamar. So, but I think the thing, if you started chasing Daniel Jones, you could get him to go faster than Lamar Jackson just because like he just starts going like a crazy man. Like I've never seen someone run like that who looks like him. It is like the white lightning of the NFL for sure.
Yeah. Him and Mariota. Mariota's really fast too.
Oh, Mariota's a beast. Yeah. All right. Let's jump over here. Jameis Winston, I think he might actually come back this week. It's possible that he comes back this week. So, he's available on your wire. Pick him up. He's going to play in a game I know is going to have a huge total. I'm sure it has over 50 already. Maybe not, but it will because Vegas's defense gives up points. They gave up points yesterday. And then New Orleans is not the best defense ever. They give up points too. So, and then Jameis likes to sling it. And you got Olave, who we talked about earlier. So see if Jameis is available. And I don't think anyone stashed Jameis Winston,
Right. Yep. I'm with you. Yep. Yeah. Whatever. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens, but definitely, worth, examining what's going to happen with Jameis this week.
Dude, that is hilarious, dude. You see what Rum Boys Robbie said? He's talking about that's Josh Allen. Allen is Vanilla Vic.
Yeah, he is. Yep.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, that's hilarious, dude. That is exactly right. He is Vanilla Vic. He's so big too. He can body people.
Lamar or Burrow the rest of the season.
Burrow.
Man,
Burrow.
yeah, I'll
Burrow.
probably
His
take
weapons.
Burrow too.
His weapons, and he
As,
gets those goal line touchdowns too. Now,
yeah, it's his weapons. He's got the best trio wide receivers. I had Lamar higher.
Hey, by the way, I don't want to call
but
receipts on you, but you did say to Eviscerate Tyler Boyd in one of our DM chats, and I would not do that. So I just want to say I saved you.
yeah, man. I mean,
Putting it out here,
you know,
I didn't
Tyler
think you should
Boyd.
put that out there. I was like, I don't think you should do that, and then you said okay. So, but that was not good. He's good. It's just because
Yeah, he's good. I'll tell you what, though. I mean, it sucks to have the third wide receiver. I mean, he shouldn't be the third wide receiver. But you know, like he's gonna be tough. Like unless you have a deep league where you're starting like like super flex. Three wide receivers, two flexes. Like I think that's where Tyler Boyd is advantageous. But yeah, tough to start Tyler Boyd.
I agree.
But, yeah, I know I'm with you though. Like, I mean,
you can't eviscerate that guy. You got to hold him on your bench at least.
Yeah.
But
sell
I know
high, sell high on Tyler Boyd right now.
Course.
How about that?
Of course. Yeah. Gus Edwards. We talked about him. Duh. That's pretty easy. We don't need to get into that.
A Gus bus.
Yeah. Michael Carter as well. If he's available, check and see. This is kind of. Most leagues should have Michael Carter already rostered, but in case they don't, just do a little check. But the next two might not be rostered, honestly. Chuba Hubbard and Latavius Murray. Who would you rather have, Collins?
And Deontay Foreman too. I mean,
everybody got Foreman in every league I got in everywhere, so I just didn't put him on here because
who do you want going forward, Chuba or Deontay? Chuba got a little injured too, I believe, at the end of that game.
It's Foreman for me, but I think Chuba has those breakaway plays in him because he's so fast.
Dude, how about let me look at their stats for this past week. I mean, first of all, the Bucks have a great rushing defense, right? Okay, they are a top elite end of the league at dealing with good running backs. Okay. Deonta Foreman goes for 15 carries, 118 yards. And then I think Chuba Hubbard had 63. So they almost put up 200 yards, the two of them. Like the NFL is nuts. Like the Panthers beat the Bucks. Like what is going on?
Turn it up. It's something like gangsta. Yeah, I don't understand it either, man. I don't understand either.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I honestly didn't want either one of those guys. Now I want both of them. So I want either one. Latavius Murray, Mike Boone, I think he just got put. Yeah, he's on IR. He's out of the picture. So that's good. That's good because now you just have Latavius Murray and you have Melvin Gordon in that backfield. Okay. I don't know why Latavius Murray is, factoring in.
He's a big guy. He's a huge guy. He
is a big guy. Melvin Gordon is too, though, man. Like,
Melvin Gordon, I don't think one time it lost him a game, so they're gonna lose the rest of their games because.
Well, here's the thing: Latavius Murray is, he's gonna be, I think, the red zone back. Like, he's gonna be the power back when I don't think he should be, but that's Nathaniel Hackett's call and it's his team. So
he's stupid, by the way.
Latavius Murray, 32 years old and was out of the NFL, is now on the wire on the Fantasy Millionaires and worth adding for sure.
Yeah. And so, I mean, okay, so let's talk about all of these backs. Besides Gus Edwards, I'm just saying Gus Edwards is not available, right? But if it comes down to Chuba or Latavius or Foreman, how are you attacking that?
I don't know, man. It's a tough call. I mean, I honestly think probably Deonta Foreman is the one out of all of them because I just think he'll have more volume. I can't see Latavius Murray I mean, you saw at the end of the game this past week that the Broncos were actually like, in trouble, and it was just like Melvin Gordon time again because they were just like, well, we need to get him the ball. I expect Melvin Gordon to be doing good things going forward. So, out of those three, I'll take Deonta Foreman. How much would you spend on Gus Edwards, though? Because I bet you he is available in a lot of leagues.
Everything.
Yeah.
I empty the chamber.
I spent it all.
I spent every penny. I drank your milkshake. That's what I would do. Yeah, I would drink your milkshake. Is how I would go. Not on Latavius though. But all right, let's talk about wide receivers. Not a lot going on in the wide receiver.
I don't want either of them.
Yeah, Donovan Peoples-Jones and Khalif Raymond are. Here's the only thing: Khalif only if Amon-Ra can't go. Right,
he's gonna go. I don't want either one of them. How about we should have added Tyquan Thornton and Raheed Shaheed? Both of those guys should have been
Thornton on the line like 2 weeks ago or something.
I don't know. I don't think we talked about him. I think we missed him, and both those guys are probably still available. We'll see what Thornton does tonight. So, but if he has a big night, I would go hard after him.
Yeah, how big a night do you think he's going to have?
I don't know. That's the thing. We've only seen one good week, but I believe he was drafted in the second round. And do you know he runs a 4.2?
I did see that. He
runs a 4.2. He was clocked unofficially at a 4.21, which would have been the fastest person ever in the NFL. So, it'll be interesting. He was drafted in the second round. We will see tonight. But I think if the targets are there, he could be maybe the top ad of the week.
Yeah. No, it's true. I just assume we had talked about him earlier. Let's talk some dreamy tight end hair here. Greg Dulcich. I don't know. He's in your heart. He's in your soul. Look at that hair, man. That's Denny Carter wished his hair looked like that. You know what I mean? Like Denny, look at that, bro. Look at that.
He perms it.
It looks beautiful, man. It looks so beautiful. I don't even know what to
say. It really does.
I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna try not to cry. But
yeah, no, he's got a mane. I mean, that is a good perm he's got.
Yeah, no, it's strong to quite strong, as the ladies would say. But I do like him. He doesn't have a block yet, and I think that's the kind of the rub on him, right?
That's great.
Yeah,
that's great because they won't use him to block like they used Kyle Pitts.
Oh man, Kyle fucking Pitts. Yeah.
Not
good.
If you have Kyle Pitts, pick up Greg Dulcich.
I agree. I think that's a good call. I think it's a damn good call, mate. I'm not gonna lie about that. I might even do it. Just sucking and all. But I don't have Kyle Pitts. But if I did, I think it's a good call for sure. So, what about Cade Otton? What do you think about him? You into Cade? I know he's a
yes. I'm into Cade too, man. Give me Cade for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thomas Kincaid, paint me a picture of Cade Otton, please. Down by
I mean, we don't in the Cameron Brate thing. I know he has he was concussed and then reconcussed or neck injury. So I don't know if what the timeline is for his recovery. But in the meantime, Cade Otton looks good and is getting targets. So I think Greg Dulcich and Cade Otton are kind of similar ceilings. I think Dulcich potentially maybe even higher ceiling. Once Russell Wilson gets healthy, it looks like they have a connection. But both of those guys, I mean, 6
targets a game. That's what you
right. If you can get 10 points out of your tight end, and you punted tight end, like, and that's all you need.
You're playing, and this isn't somebody you're going to play every week either. Like you're playing tight end roulette based on matchups, based on availability of other players on the team, injuries, all these kinds of quarterback. So maybe Dulcich isn't to play until Russell Wilson's back. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, maybe with Rippon, it's not. I mean, he still scored 10 points, but
I love the fact that he doesn't block because he's just out there to run routes. So
yeah, no, that's true. All right, Falcons D, Panthers D. Which one would you rather have?
I'll take either one because they're playing each other this week.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Who do you?
I did. I think I did. I think I did Falcon. I think I would take Falcons. I think the Falcons win this game, so I'll take the Falcons D this week. I can't see the Panthers just like balling out like that again next week, but we'll see. I'll take the Falcons D this week.
Listen to this bullshit on DraftKings. The Falcons D is 3,800, one of the most expensive Ds, and then you go down a little bit, and then you're like, okay, well, the
that is crazy.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever seen, right? And the Panthers D is 2,800. So you're like, God damn it, why are you pricing up fucking terrible teams? Like,
I'll take Panthers D for DFS.
Yeah, I'm with you for sure. All right, let's get to Elevate, Mitigate, and Eviscerate. One of my favorite segments of the week. Last week, I did tell you to mitigate Terry McLaurin. That was a terrible mistake. I just want to fancy receipts myself right now. But we did say to play Tua. He scored you 20 points. Sorry, Dave Richard. That's a good play. 20 points from a quarterback is exactly what you want. Love you, Dave Richards. Fancy receipts. So we're coming noun, a verb, an adjective. You're just going to be like, yeah, I was at the store the other day and I fancy receipted this guy. He's in my league. I was just like, hey, man, fancy receipt in your face. So it's become a Dave Chappelle skit, But let's jump into this. You love Derek Carr against New Orleans. Talk about that. New Orleans normally a stout D against the pass.
You know what? They're better against the run. And I think, this whole offense is it's built on running the football. And I think that, the Saints have been, they've been, kind of an underwhelming defense for, what we thought they were going to be going into this year. What's that?
Lattimore's been hurt. He didn't play last week.
Yeah, I think that this is going to be a week where they're going to have to do some more things through the air, and I think they will. I think I expect Derek Carr to be able to navigate some of these third and longer, and they're not just going to be able to run it down their throat, like they've been doing for like the last 4 weeks with Josh Jacobs. I mean. Doesn't mean they're going to, abandon their philosophy, but I think Derek Carr, he's going to have a better week than he normally does.
I agree, and you've got Devontae Adams out there, and I mean Josh Jacobs was one of the locks of the week last week, 36%, 35% rostered on DraftKings, and I played him in every lineup I had. Like he was just over the moon for me. 3 touchdowns. I said he might get 4. So I'm sorry, guys. Fancy receipts. But I do like this call, elevating him. And they're throwing the ball. Mac Hollins is out there. You got Foster Moreau. And then Josh Jacobs is a good running back, too. They can throw the ball to him. The running game isn't being established, as they like to say. So Josh McDaniels doing better the last couple games after rough start. Bagel in the first 4. So, all right, let's talk running back here. We got a couple, actually just one. Tyler Algier. Yeah, we talked about him a couple weeks ago, but he may have been dropped after, not so great performance. Didn't do anything previously. Came out. I love what I saw. What did you see that makes you want to jump out on the Algier train?
Yeah, I mean, this is what they do. They run the ball, and you finally Caleb Huntley just came out of nowhere. Like I thought once Cordarrelle Patterson went down, it was Tyler Algier season, and then it wasn't. And Caleb Huntley looked good with the ball too. But I think that this was the type of game where there's a trajectory here, and they have a good matchup. Panthers middling versus the run, and
really
this is Yeah, they're mids. They're mids, and so this is their. I mean, their whole philosophy is built on running the football, and they're pretty good. They're effective at it. So I think that I dropped Tyler Algier this past week. So he could be on the wire. He could be on the wire if I dropped him for Gus Edwards ultimately.
Oh, you mother. Okay.
But
why
yeah,
don't you boast some more? Pat yourself on the back. Now, who's what was it? Toots/Jarvis Toots. You're what's your name? We'll figure out a name for you. You're like subtle. You're like subtle about it. You're like, no, I picked him up.
Flutes.
Yes, flute, because you're flouting. You're flouting for sure. The past tense of flouting is fluting. So yeah, hell yeah, man, that's hilarious. All right, let's talk some wide receiver elevations here. If I can scroll a little bit. Okay,
Toots and flutes.
All right, toots and flutes. We'll do shows toots and flutes. That'll be great. Yeah, that'll be so funny. DJ Moore. I listened to the Stochastic. Is that how you say it? Is that the name of it?
I think that's right. Yeah, Stochastic.
I listened to them, and I love Ben. I love Dave. Most of all, honestly, I love Alex. And so listening to those guys, they were like, "Do you have any DJ Moore?" And Ben brought up the question. It was kind of like, I don't know, PJ Walker. And then you're just like, yeah, you still have to have a little DJ Moore. You can't not have a little. And it just was nice. It was a nice little DJ Moore. I put him in 4 or 5 lineups, and he is a great football player. He has been one of those wide receivers that have been saddled with terrible quarterbacks, and he's never really been showcased. He's always done a pretty good job, though, getting over 1,000 yards. Touchdowns have not been there. But, man, imagine him on the Green Bay Packers or another team that actually had a need for a great wide receiver. Trade for him right now. Save Aaron Rodgers. Save DJ Moore. I've been planning this behind the scenes. Make it happen. God, come on. What the hell? They traded away Christian McCaffrey.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome to see Aaron Rodgers get DJ Moore. I do think that DJ Moore would have. I think DJ Moore is really, elite talent. I mean, here's the thing. This is why, I haven't dropped DJ Moore in any league. The targets are there. It's just like they're hitting him, 2 feet, 3 feet on the turf below. They're like, but the main thing is the targets are there. And finally, that is what you can kind of, bet on is that the targets and, McCaffrey also being gone, I think, boosts his value a little bit. And the Falcons are not good at, dealing with opposing wide receivers. So I think that this is a week where, if you've held on to DJ Moore and he stayed on your squad, it's been frustrating, but I think this is a good week to start him versus the Falcons.
Yeah. Here's my tweet. And tell me if you think I'm wrong on this tweet, because I'll say I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, right? But my tweet is DJ Moore deserves to be traded to Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. That's just a tweet. He just deserves it, man. He's a great player. He is one of the best route runners. He's a speed demon. He's just strong upper body. He's great hand-eye cord. He's all you want, man. I love him. He's a Maryland guy too. So go. Not NorCal. What is it? Oh yeah, Maryland Cal. From now on, whenever somebody from Maryland does something, we're gonna call it Maryland Cal. Just we got to rival NorCal with their boasts. They got so many players. So next time Stephon Diggs catches a touchdown, I'm just gonna hashtag it Maryland Cal. So whatever. That's what we're doing now. But DJ Moore, get him. Terry McLaurin, play him. Him and Heineke, they're buddies. He's like, yay, the guy who threw me all those passes last year, he's back. Maybe he'll throw me some passes. Apparently, him and Carson Wentz did not have a good Bible study relationship. He did not memorize the verses. He wasn't a good accountability partner. Yeah, he just was like, I like Curtis Samuel. I don't like you. I like Jahan Dotson. I don't like you. Terry McLaurin is a really good wide receiver. So.
Did he meet Carson Wentz and start going, what did he just
sent him a picture? He sent him a picture of a hot chick or something and was just like, what do you think, bruh? which I don't think he did that. Listen, Carson Wentz is a known Bible thumper, and I love the Bible just as much as the next guy who's not Carson Wentz. But yeah, I'm smart enough to read the Bible and know Terry McLaurin is the truth at wide receiver for the Washington Commanders. Like, you get him the ball. He's the best wide receiver they have. He is great at route running, speaking of a good route runner, and he can catch the ball. Like, he's great at catching the ball, contested catch particularly. He is in the midst of two guys at a time. He's awesome. So he's back. Please start him. I should never eviscerate or mitigate him last week. Please forgive me, everybody. And I've been bad. I just want to tell everybody that before I get proceeded. Yeah. All right. Talk about Irv. Talk about your boy Irvy.
Irvy has target share increasing. I expect this to be a really fun game. It's Vikings versus Cardinals. I think Kirk Cousins has a great game this week. And they're coming off the bye, and so I'm expecting the Vikings to look crisp and sharp. I think the Cardinals are gonna. I mean, you get to see what it's like when DeAndre Hopkins is back. Like, he's a leader on that team, and I think this game is going to be a really good game. But meanwhile, you have Irv Smith, just continuing to get looks and targets. So if you're playing tight end roulette, Irv Smith, I say fire him up going into week 8.
No, I really like that call too. And Kirk Cousins is going to be slinging it. It's not a primetime game. It's just a simple formula. You know, it's not that difficult, people.
Non-primetime Kirk.
Non-primetime Kirk.
Put up a 40 burger.
He could do anything he wants. Right.
Right.
Atlanta DST, we touched on him before. That's just a play you make. All right, let's talk to I'm really excited about my mitigate graphics, so I'm just gonna slow play it. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers. The Bills. No, his receivers are below mid. Like, Aaron Rodgers' receivers are below mid, and you're going against the Bills, who are above mid on defense, particularly the secondary. Poyer, there's not a great matchup I can see anywhere on any of their receivers. PFF has everybody rated better on Buffalo's secondary than on the Packers' offensive side. It's not good, except for Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones is the one. He's the best player on their team, obviously.
Bright spot of that offense. Yeah.
Course,
how about the fact that Lazard, too, we mentioned all the injuries. He injured his shoulder, too. That's not good. I mean, he might play this week, but, they sure will need him to play. Romeo Dobbs had a really bad week. You put up a 0.0.
Went 0.
And he was just not like catching the ball. Like, it just didn't look good. And then meanwhile, here's the thing about Aaron Rodgers. I remember last year him starting out slow, and I immediately jumped onto this thought that I'm about to say, because this is my vibe on him. And you can see it. I mean, this is the, I'm not the only person who really sees this now too. I mean, he doesn't want to, when things aren't going his way, like, he's not your guy, man. Like, he's
really
man. He kind of
a blame shifter. He's not a leader. He doesn't take responsibility. He points out what other people did wrong. But to be honest, they are doing it wrong. Like,
I know, and that's what I like. That's why I just don't have any faith in him for this game. Like, I think it's AJ Dillon, Aaron Jones, and Aaron Rodgers. He's Aaron Rodgers. But man, this is just a horrible matchup from this week. And he just looks like he wants to retire. I mean, that's what he looks like. He's like, man, I shouldn't have come back.
Yeah. I wonder if his contract's guaranteed. He's wondering, can I quit tomorrow? Not good. AJ Dillon too, man. I drafted him thinking he was going to break out, and that the
AJ Dillon is moving towards cuttable.
He's dust, bro. He's dust. Here's the problem: is the Packers don't they're like, yeah, dude, we're going to get it with our receivers instead of understanding they've got two great running backs that they could really play off of each other. They don't do a good job of it, and whatever, I don't care. But it's over. All right, Michael Gallup. Oh man, I had some Gallup yesterday at 5,100. I'm disappointed in me. He had another 0.0. What are we doing here, people?
How about Noah Brown is still a factor in that offense?
Yeah.
I mean, he's garnering, the Michael Gallup role in terms of targets. So
it's not good.
No, not good.
Why is Noah Brown getting so many targets? I mean, I think that Michael Gallup will be back to his normal self, but he needs to, kind of integrate into the offense. He needs to run routes. Honestly, Dak hasn't played for 2 months either, or 7 weeks either. So it's not been good for Dallas yet. Are they 5-2? Are they 5-2? Right? 5-2. So good for them. All right, let's talk about some tight ends we want to, Deontay Johnson. Listen, Deontay Johnson. I don't want to boast, but here I'm going to pull back the curtain here, guys, just before everyone knows what I do. I PFF, right? I'm on PFF all the time. This is not toots. This is just I use this service, right? I pay for them. I'm not tooting about my money.
Oh, okay.
I pay for them. But take a look at this. Okay, Bradbury, he's the 16th ranked corner. Okay, so let's say you go, Deontay Johnson's not going to go against him. He'll go over here to Darius Slay, who's the 13th ranked corner. All right, that's okay. Let's line him up on the inside against Maddox. Oh, he's the 33rd ranked. There's just not a play this week. And I know Deontay Johnson gets a lot of targets. I just do not think, though, that Deontay Johnson in this matchup is gonna do well. I think Pittsburgh, they're gonna get annihilated. I do think that. Maybe I'm Bo McBrayering it and kind of overstating it, but Philadelphia is a really good team. They're coming off of a bye, and it's an interstate rivalry. You throw out the records, man. You just want to defeat that other team, and people in Pennsylvania are crazy. I don't want to be mean to them. They don't have a lot. They live in Pennsylvania, so they love their football teams more and their hockey teams and stuff more than normal people should love anything. Their baseball teams right now, I understand it. Go punch somebody, go, punch a horse, whatever, right? I get it. You got a lot of angst, but they are going to beat Pittsburgh. And I think Deontay Johnson, 10 targets, be damned, 5 for 10, whatever. Pickett's not great, right? And I think, right, I'd throw it to Claypool. He's a bigger target in the slot. I'd also throw it to Pickens. He's a bigger target too. So I just don't think Deontay, it matches up well in this matchup. So and he's a good player, but I would fade him.
I like the call, bro. It's ballsy. You're saying to sit Deontay Johnson, and that is what we would love. We want to sit stars in mitigate, and I mean,
had to bring it. I could be wrong, and then I could.
Yeah, I'm with you though, because here's the thing: that
break out in this matchup, they're going to run the ball on the other side. They're going to hold the ball, and they're going to win 35-10 or something.
Well, here's the thing too: we already have seen so far in this small sample size of Kenny Pickett. It's already a full-on committee approach with the wide receivers. We don't know what's going to happen. And George Pickens is definitely, he has a connection. There's a channel going on between those two young rookies.
They played on the sidelines together during training camp. They were, repping, they were bepping and tepping and odd bobs and bibs and whatever British people would say.
Right.
So yeah. All right, let's jump over Dawson Knox. Good play last week. But not this week.
Mm-hmm.
Or he had a bye, but
2 weeks ago, right? 2 weeks ago,
Last time we said to play him, I said to elevate him, right? So play him.
That's the thing. It's he is touchdown dependent, and one of the things the Packers do good is against tight ends. So I'm gonna go ahead and fade Dawson Knox week 8. They have so many weapons, and unless he gets into the end zone, it could be a single digit.
He's not a volume guy. Yeah, he's not a volume. This is a 4.2 game potentially. When you're looking at, because he might get three receptions, 30 yards, so maybe 6.
Packers are top 5 with tight ends, so I mean, they are that's one of the things they do well as a defense. It's the only thing right now, which is shocking. But
if you can throw the football to Stephon Diggs or Gabe Davis, you do that.
Yeah,
That's
right.
just what you do. Yeah. Saints defense going up against the we talked about it, the Las Vegas Raiders. Yeah, not somebody I think you want to start this week at all. I like that.
Yeah, Saints defense is potential Eviscerate candidate. You know, and they were a D I was drafting all over in my drafts, and you know,
22nd ranked
like
defense overall. Yeah.
Yeah.
22nd ranked defense. I mean, you know, Robbie's 94th. Taylor doesn't even have a grade. Yeah, no. This is not great. Listen, I like Tyrann Mathieu, but he every week he does something stupid. So you can count. You might catch an interception.
Getting older too.
Yeah, he makes a penalty, a bonehead play, and offsides. He hits somebody out of bounds, so it blows an assignment. I like this call a lot. It might be a Devontae Adams, Derek Carr stack attack week DFS wise, but that's just you heard it here, and you're going to hear it later too. So all right, let's get to Eviscerating. Oh, you do. I've been waiting.
Would you, if you have confidence, are you gonna?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, just give up. I saw a tweet that said somebody said that the Falcons have drafted 2 pass catchers in the first 6 picks the last 2 years, and they throw the ball 13 times a game. Like, why are you wasting your time? And they're using them as blocker. Like it. Listen, I'm not. Bo likes to hate on people and stuff, and I like that about him because ultimately you got to hate on things that are not great. Arthur Smith and how they're approaching this, they're winning, but like, why did you draft him? Why did you draft Drake? Like, it doesn't make sense how they're playing football with their personnel. I mean, maybe with their running game it does, but not with their passing game. They need to do more passing. So until they do more passing, and I saw Dwayne McFarland tweeted out too, like, in a normal game where you're losing by double digits, you throw the football 72% of the time, right? Mm-hmm. Which is normal. Like it's like 70%. They did it 47% of the time they threw the football. They were running the football most of the time. Arthur Smith is like, we have a better chance just taking away time. Our team is better when there's less time on the clock. So that doesn't do good for Kyle Pitts. It's not helpful if you have Kyle Pitts. He is not just touchdown or bust. He is that's it. He's touchdown and bust. And he's got 1. So that's just no. I have no draft capital on him. So I can look at it without being emotionally attached. He's not worth it. Now keep him on your bench. It's fine. But don't play him at least. Pick up somebody else. He's costing you games.
Listen, man. Yeah, you have no Kyle Pitts in any leagues that we're in together because I drafted him everywhere. So, so if you had Kyle Pitts, you would cut him. Like, would you cut him for Greg Dulcich? Yeah,
I would. I would.
I mean, that's where we're at. I mean, it is what it is. I don't know if I'm gonna follow your advice on this one, but I mean, it's just so hard. But I mean, it really is. It's doom and gloom.
Say goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it. All right. Kenyon Drake, we talked about him, eviscerate him. I put Jerick McKinnon on there, and he still played okay. He got a couple touches and stuff, but he got 4 touches, and they came out and they wanted to make a point of it. They're like, Isaiah Pacheco is the starting running back. It didn't mean much, but for McKinnon,
it didn't mean much.
McKinnon, it didn't mean much. He was doing better before that, right? He just was. But Pacheco, I think, got 10 points, something like that. Maybe not. Maybe Sky Moore got 10. I don't know.
That offense is so hard to look at from a fantasy perspective, too, man. You have 3 running backs and 3 wide receivers, and it's just like you can't.
Russian roulette with them every week.
The only one we know is Kelsey.
And Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
Too.
Juju Smith-Schuster does look like he's finally, starting to become what he was drafted to be.
Finally, yeah. So, all right. J.D. McKissick, dead. Get rid of him.
I think so. I think Gibson makes it so you don't need him.
We like him in real life. We want to have beers with him, hang out with him, whatever, but not. Yeah, he's not. It's not good. This is in the game right here. He doesn't have the football. He's on offense. He's on the ground. It looks like he's been murdered. And the other defender has the football. I think this play was called back. So, but still, it's not good. It's not good.
All right.
Yeah.
You saying Devin Duvernay too, huh?
I mean, he had a great chance. Yeah, peace out. Just, I mean, you got better players. If you want to pick him up and play him in DFS one week, he might get 2 touchdowns again, but he's not consistent. He's not something that you're going to be able to count on. Look what happened last week. Mark Andrews, 0.4, 0.2 points in fantasy, something like that. I mean, just insane. No,
Right.
I mean, just insane. I don't even understand. But Devin Duvernay, he's not it either. Because you think, okay, Mark Andrews got nothing, so that means it went to Devin Duvernay. No.
I mean, they're like the Falcons light. They just don't throw the ball a lot, and then you have Rashad Bateman. So
listen, this is what's incredible. They had a better passing game with Marquise Hollywood Brown, and Rashad Bateman will start. And here's why. Lamar Jackson is dropping back and he's just like running around for 20 seconds and getting sacked. That's the stupidest plan ever. If you're going to do that, fucking roll out. Roll out.
I'm with you.
I mean, roll out. I don't understand, right? Like, if you're going to do that shit, know the play is going to go long and design it to do it. Like, it's just John Harbaugh, wake up, So I'm not even a Ravens fan. It just drives me crazy because they cut to them on and they'll be like, Scott Hansen will be like, all right, it's 3rd and 7 for the Ravens. Lamar Jackson dancing around in the backfield looking like RG3. Oh, he gets sacked. You're like, wow, you're the fastest guy in the NFL. How is Daniel Jones out rushing you this week? It does not make sense. So
yeah,
fix it. And the Jets this week. No.
Jets D though, man. That's a tough D to cut, man. Like they're doing really good. I mean, yeah.
No.
Okay.
No. I'll tell you why. And this is the thing. New England, I feel like they're going to pull their card. Zach,
I think they will too.
He will be exposed. And I don't think they can score. I think they get 10 points maybe. And I think that they remind
Bring back Joe Flacco. That's what they need to do.
I should have put the Strava or Stava, whatever that guy. Yeah. I should have put it. Did you see his? I said it. Did I send it to you? Yeah. Oh my god, he's so great. I just loved it. He was like, I might go down and spend all my paycheck on hookers on Emerson Street.
Merritt Parkway.
Merritt Parkway. We don't use my paycheck and spend on hookers.
What'd you think, yo? What'd you think, Cleveland?
What do you think about that game? We got me out. We should have won by more, but I mean, we squeaked out.
Yeah, if we had Flacco,
you more we won by 10.
They better. Honestly, they need to bring him back.
Yeah, I love that, dude. I love that. That guy's my favorite. All right, all right. Let's jump over. We get stacks of cash tweets. We'll get out of here. Stop bothering you.
All right, let's do it.
I'm so glad we didn't cross swords here in our stacks. It's always disappointing if we do that. I love your stack. I actually was considering it. It was a little expensive for me, a little pay up, a little pricey. You got 9,100, and then you also have 6,100. So combined, 15.2. But I mean, Justin Jefferson, this Arizona game, it has got a high total. What is the total, by the way? Do you know the total? I've not looked at it.
I was trying to find the total. Have they come out yet? Like when I looked earlier, I couldn't find it. So
no, I don't always bring them out, but I'll look.
Yeah, I mean, I would expect this game to have a high total. Couple mid Ds, couple offenses that are capable of putting points on the board. And I mean, it's Vikings coming off a bye. It's go time.
49. Yeah, 49 and 48. I said 50 over 50 for the Raiders game. I was wrong by 2, but guess what? It's going to go over 50. So you're wrong, Vegas. Put it on the receipts, Vegas. I will call Vegas out if I need to.
Well, I mean, this game though, 49. So there you go. I mean, Vegas has got this game shooting.
I like it.
Yeah. So I love this. I mean, whether he gets you 20 or 30 to me is the question with Jefferson. Like, his floor is so safe. And then I think Cousins, he maybe he connects with Irv Smith, like maybe he connects with Thielen, like you could get, combined 60 points, I think pretty safe with the Cash's diamond stack of the week.
I'm not going to lie. I do love it. Oh, I forgot. I have an updated graphic. I had the wrong graphic in. So let me put it in. It's the same graphic, but wait, that's even the wrong graphic too. Look at me. There we go. I'm working it. I'm trying to figure it all out. All right, here we go. Yeah. I love your stack, by the way. I went a little cheaper, and I went with Tyreek Hill and Tua against Detroit. It just was too juicy for me. They're both priced down a little bit. It's $500 cheaper. Tyreek Hill, he's not matchup proof forever, but like, dude, man, he is just the man. Like, I love Tyreek Hill. It just makes me so happy to see him balling out every single game. It doesn't matter if he's in Kansas City. It doesn't matter. He's the sixth best wide receiver. Yeah, that's where he is in fantasy scoring. You know what I mean? Like, sorry, that's last year. I'm giving the wrong data.
Yeah, he's like 3 right now. You still have Cooper Kupp and Stephon Diggs coming off buys at 1 and 2.
Yeah, 1 and 2. Yeah, he's averaging 22 points per game. It's crazy that he's this cheap too, because if I'm so right now he is 8,500. That's not bad at all. Just Jefferson, Adams, Cooper, right? You said, yeah, all of them more expensive than him, and he's got a great matchup. I love this matchup. He can get you 2 touchdowns for sure. So I'm rolling with that. All right, let's get to your gold stack. I think I talked about this earlier.
Yeah, man. I think that this is going to be one of those kind of weeks. The Derek Carr, Devontae Adams connection will be there. I think he had 8 receptions this past game. Like, I think the chemistry is building between these two guys. I mean, like, they've had a relationship. They went to college together. They love each other, but you have to play together, and it's happening. So I think that this is going to be a week where they're just dialing up plays. I think Derek Carr is just realizing, like, it doesn't matter where I throw it. This guy gets the ball. And, I think I could see this game being a really fun game to watch as well. And I wouldn't see why, Devontae Adams doesn't get, 1 touchdown at least.
I like the at least part. That's fortuitous because you want that in stacks,
Oh yeah, man. You want that double touchdown performance, dude, to win in a GPP.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And Adams right now, wide receiver 6. So
right.
I mean, not that far off of previous past performances. Doing well. All right. Let's talk about Amon-Ra St. Brown. Same game. I think this game pops. I really do. I know they played terrible, but I don't think Miami's defense is as good. And Amon-Ra comes back. You got Jared Goff. He's super cheap. Amon's a little expensive.
They should get Swift back too.
Right. It opens up the offense. And I love the fact that, he's going to be kind of under rostered, because he's coming off a couple games of injury, and then the missed game because not the missed game, but the bye, and now he's out the game. People are not going to trust him. So he's 6,900. He's so low. He's so low. So even if you don't play this stack, play Amon-Ra St. Brown this week.
I'm with you.
Right, let's get to your silver, by the way.
Silver, man. Let's do it. Danny Dimes, Daniel Jones. I mean, yeah, man. I just think there's so much upside here. Maybe Saquon, you could get a passing TD for some absurd amount of yards off of that. But barring Wan'Dale Robinson having an injury, there's a questionable tag on him right now. I really like Daniel Jones, and then a 4,700 price tag on Wan'Dale Robinson, who had, I think, in the first half, didn't get targeted in the second half. There was, he did get like dinged, but the first half usage, you saw that they are desperate for wide receiver, and he's good. He's fast. He had, I think, 6 targets for like 50 yards in the first half.
Well, you're looking for GPP upside. It's not you're not going after somebody who is like Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson. You're looking for those cheaper under 5K receivers who could get you there. Honestly,
silver stacks are like the way a lot of people cash, man. Like when you're in GPP,
smart plays, really,
right?
So no, I really like it. And I can't believe you undercut me because I went Jameis and Olave. Jameis not going to be rostered. That he's cheap. He's 5,500. And then Olave is priced down too because they're stupid. So 11.3, and not bad for the silver stack. A little more expensive than your stack. I'm not going to lie to you, man. I almost made Saquon and Daniel Jones my diamond stack. So it's crazy where you just stack people like it was just 2 players away. and you're at the bottom with the silver sack. So that might be just telling me Daniel Jones is the play this week, because either way, Seattle is 32nd against the running back position. So they're going to give up either against the run. They're not good at gap control. They're not good at manhandling defenses or the offensive line. I know the Giants are a little banged up on offensive line, but still, this is going to be a game for the Giants.
Why isn't Daniel Jones going to run for 100 yards again? Like,
I know.
That's third downs, right? They're going to have third downs.
They're going to have third downs. I love that. That's a great tweet. They're going to have third downs, right?
Right.
You're going to have third downs, honey. Come on. The thing about it is what he means by that is when you have third downs, everybody comes in, the gaps narrow. There's different alignments. You and I both played football. I'm on the O line, you in the running back position, wide receiver position, etc., quarterback maybe. And so when you get into third down, you all get closer together, and then you go forward and down. Daniel Jones bootlegs like a motherfucker, and then he just goes, or he reads the D end, and then he just goes. And sure, he falls down after 40, 50 yards, but still. I love it, man. I love. So, all right, let's get to 3 tweets because there's some things I love. Let me ask you, which one do you want? Do you want your written one, or are you in New York City?
That if I win, I'll save that if I win.
Okay. So this is from Mike Collins. This is welcome to New York City, and I've got it.
Oh, and NSFW, not safe for work.
Listen,
if you're blasting this.
Listen, I have not fucking cussed the whole fucking shitty show. But now I'm fucking dropping bombs like you don't fucking care because this is not safe for work. So get your kids off air. Denny Carter's kids always listen to our show. Denny, earmuffs. Let's go.
Yeah. Put your earmuffs on.
Sit down. Sit down, Wilson. Sit down.
I saw the beginning of this, but I knew you'd send it to me, so I didn't watch it somewhere else.
Welcome to New York City.
Sit down, Wilson. Sit down. Ah. Oh, no. When Wilson's pants are coming off.
Come on, sit down properly. Why you wearing no pants today? Let's fucking wear no pants, Wilson.
Pants on the ground. Pants on the ground.
Have some, Wilson. Have some. Wilson, have some.
This is 49th Street.
He's
I've
drinking.
been drinking all day, Wilson. Have some. I'm not fucking playing with you, Wilson. Have some. I'll fucking say have some. I'll fucking say have some, Wilson. Let's go. Wilson, make me drink all day, Wilson. It's fucking playing. Fuck.
Butt crack a
Why does he call him his female mannequin Wilson? Is that from Castaway, like the volleyball? Is that
yeah,
stealing that name?
Wilson. Yeah, that is hilarious. And I'm scared of New York again. I still have not gone, and I continue not to go. All right, so I posted this mostly just to show you, because I don't care about anybody else but you on all. Listen, I want everyone to know this between you, me, and everybody else. Twitter, this show, it's all about Mike Collins, man. Like, if you want to know, like, what most of my tweets are for, I go, what would me and Mike like? And then I tweet it. That's honestly how it goes. So now I'm not saying Mike speaks through me. I'm just going to say, Mike is a huge influence. So I knew he would love this and it would make him laugh. Did you watch it when I sent it out or no?
I did.
Okay. Isn't it hilarious?
This is wild. It's definitely
wild.
Good 3 tweets material.
It's perfect 3 tweets. So a second react, but still, this is Kanye. I'm going to set the stage here. This is Charlemagne talking about Kanye's reaction on a different show to him talking about his relationship to Pete Davidson and his ex-wife. So it's a little he said, she said, back and forth, and then they explain it. So let me just set that up, and here we go.
The guy got on Drink Champs and said,
Charlemagne, he gonna go on air and be like, man, I'm gonna paraphrase it. Kim is with Pete because he got a bigger dick. Why you talking about another man's dick on camera
You heard me tell you this story last year, right? When me and Kanye got into an argument, he called me last November. He's basically trying to get me on board to shit on somebody he knows is my friend, Pete Davidson. He's like, oh, we got to save the new Marilyn Monroe. Talking about Kim. And I'm like, yo, you know Pete is my friend, right? Finally, he goes, my wife is out here fucking a white boy with a 10-inch penis, and you won't help me? My wife is out here fucking a white boy with a 10-inch penis, and you telling me that's your friend, but you're supposed to be culture? He's screaming on the phone. Entertaining, entertaining, hilarious. What am I supposed to do but laugh at that? I'm gonna walk out the goddamn. So I want you. I feel like Kanye right now. I feel like Kanye. I don't know if this was last year when I did this donkey today, but I say to him, don't make me tell everybody why you really mad. And there was articles and people was kind of knew what I was referencing. Yeah. But the reason I keep bringing up Pete's penis on the radio is because I know it fucks with you. Okay? All right. And you said that to me. Yeah. But he gets on the interview and acts like he don't know where that came from. The motherfucker is a master manipulator. Man yells, my wife is out here fucking a white boy with a 10-inch penis and you won't help me. I'm like, what does that even mean? Somebody help. Somebody help. If she can't handle the 10-inch dick, I know I can't. The guy.
That's my favorite. If she can't handle it, I can't. So
who can?
That is crazy. Like
that's all I get from that is Pete Davidson has a 10-inch penis. Like that's
right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. It's always those skinny guys, man. It's always those skinny guys.
Yeah. I think you win. I think you win, by the way.
Okay.
So let's blow your tweet up. I think this is hilarious. I read this.
This guy has been on a roll lately. His name is John Hislop. Yeah. And this was the first tweet I saw of him, but he's doing this every day now. John Hislop, today could be the luckiest day of your life. Only one way to find out: gambling.
It's so deep and true. Like, it makes so much sense.
Dude, he's got so many of them. That is my favorite one, but he's been doing them every day ever since I saw this guy. He's got so many ones like this. They're great.
Yeah, I'm all in. I just followed him, retweeted it. Well, I love it. If you love the show, please do like, subscribe on YouTube, on Apple, iTunes, whatever it is, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever we can be found. And then also, please do follow Mike and myself. He is, if you don't know, it's right above him here on the show. It's the Ralph Macho. And then I am Nimble W Numbers. Follow us both. And we'll see you guys next time when we head into now the halfway point of the season. Crazy. We'll be back with the halfway report, kind of when we hit you with the first part in the breakdown. So, Mike, I'll let you get us out of here.
War in week 8. Peace and love everywhere else.